What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's go over it. I want to try and go over some simple concepts here, and let's just see how it goes. So yeah, hit that like button, subscribe. Let's get going. So I want to focus on the RSI. Right, we've been in this uptrend, and I think this uptrend is going to be very telling. I think this is a very helpful, useful uptrend to identify for everybody right now, right? You can see that we have somewhat of a channel in the RSI, right? And we go above it a little bit, we go below it a little bit, whatever, but this is like the lines of best fit, kind of. Every time we've hit the low end, right, every single time we've just gone up, we've gone up, all the way to the top of this channel. We're hitting the low end now. I would expect that we do move up to the top of this channel. This is very telling. Okay, it's very, very telling, because likely, if we hit the top of this channel, we're going to break above the 90 on the daily RSI read. Getting above the 90 normally is a very strong, it takes a strong move to produce these kind of readings, right? You don't just move up at a slow pace, you move up at a pretty fast pace, and you get some nice growth. Looking at the price, right, if we're looking at the last time that we got up into the 90s, we actually didn't even get to the 90s, we got close, okay? What led us to that level in the RSI was this kind of a movement in the price. We've been moving up still in price, but we've been moving down in the RSI. So if we're expecting to make this move up that will take us to this level of overboughtness in the RSI, I wouldn't expect that we continue to move up like we've been moving, right? I wouldn't expect that. I would expect we might move up like this. So we're probably going to have a nice run up, and I bet it takes us well above 100,000, probably up toward 120 to 130K. This move, you guys, 120 to 130K could take place in the first half of December. Okay, if we look at this for what it is, right, from this low to high here, I'm just drawing these lines, low to high here. Okay, low to high, trying to draw it as best fit, right? You guys can see it, low to high, right? Not fudging it at all. That's pretty in line with that, right? It's pretty in line. It's pretty in line. That is not as in line as some of them, but pretty in line still, right? If we're moving up at this pace, right, we're moving up at this pace, more or less, let's move up at a slower pace, okay? Slower, noticeably slower, right? That's still before the halfway point of December, right? The halfway point's over here. What if we move at an even slower pace? What if we move at that, right? That's completely diverged from anything else that we've been seeing in this RSI channel, right? Look at how it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It kind of fits with this one back here, actually, right? But even at that, all I'm saying is this next move, regardless of how fast it moves, it's likely going to go up to the 90s in the RSI, which means it's likely going to promote an expansion phase in price for Bitcoin, which, again, this is not an expansion phase. What we've been doing for the past week or two, this is not expansion. This is expansion, what we did in the beginning of the month, right? This right here was expansion. So I think we're going to see something like that, something very similar to this. And if we just mimicked that move, which I'm not saying we will, maybe we do, maybe we see an exact replica of this move. But if we mimic it from the low, the low here, that could take us all the way up right there. That'd be 125K. So I'm saying 120, 130. That makes sense based off of that, right? We've seen it before. We'll probably see it again here pretty soon. We take the high to the low of this consolidation phase. 123 is the 2272, 142 is the 2618. That kind of is right there between 120 and 130K as well. Tearing right through your 1618 like this is a green light for the 2272 to the 2618 area, okay? And I do want to highlight, because I've been saying 120 to 130, but I do want to highlight this 140 area for a reason, okay? I do believe that this RSI, we haven't completed the story with this RSI yet, right? It seems like we have, but we haven't. There's more to go off of, okay? There's a thought that I need you guys to complete with me here, okay? And it's on the daily, sorry. I thought it looked weird. So the thought here is that, and I'm going to just delete this and restart, okay? The thought here is that we're at the bottom of this trend, or bouncing off the bottom at least. Every time that we bounce off the bottom, we've gone up to the top, okay? If we were to do that same thing now, we go up to the 90 or probably higher, just above the 90, but get a stronger read, a higher read than what we got last time. Okay, that's cool. That's great. Likely that move, again, that comes in the first half of December, likely will take us above 120K, around 130K. But I said, and just before we went back to this, just before I repeated myself there, I was mentioning that 140K target, right? I was mentioning that the 141 all the way up to this 2618. And the reason why I think we should mention that as a possible target by the end of this year, if not even by the end of this move, which could go into January, I want to again address this daily RSI, is that I don't think we'll top off here. I think the RSI tops off here, okay? But likely what's going to happen, just like this time here, right, you have a high and you have a lower high. I bet you had higher highs in your price. And let's see. Let's see if you did. Back here. You did. You had higher highs in your price. Look at that. Higher highs right there. Lower highs in your RSI. If it would let me do it, right? Lower highs right there. So just you know, with that kind of idea, that one example there, it doesn't have to be like this. But if we were to top off here, that might be the high in the RSI, but not the high in the price. We might get a lower high in the RSI here. You know, maybe we come down, we come up, we get a lower high in the RSI. That promotes a higher high in the price. Was this higher high dramatically higher? No, it was slightly higher. If we were to go to 120 to 130, if we were at like 130, is 140 dramatically higher than 130? Not really, right? We could reach for that. And maybe we don't hit it, but I'm just saying maybe we hit 123 and then we reach for 130. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be 142, 140K just because it's there, but these are targets, everything and anything in between. These are targets that we should be considering, not just for the next couple weeks, but for the next couple months. That there'll probably be stuff that comes into fruition. If it hasn't clicked on what I'm trying to say with this RSI, is that essentially with this channel, we've got a pretty safe bet going that we see a 90 read or more in the daily RSI. With that kind of reading, you're getting really hot. You're likely getting ready to break out of this uptrend here, and it'll probably set us up for some more consistent consolidation, right? More consistent and more deep than anything we've seen over the past couple weeks. But we're not out of this uptrend yet. Likely, we're about to form, I think, we're on our way. If I can just get it, all this other stuff deleted. I'm just going to delete this stuff again, man. I wish that there was a way to delete not everything, but just delete some things. And there, I could go through and click it, but I just wish it was faster. I wish it knew what I wanted. But of course it wouldn't. Anyways. Sorry. When we move up 90, Bitcoin will move up to 120, 130. Okay, somewhere in that range. Then we'll likely have a little pullback. Okay, this will be the height of this range. Maybe we go all the way back down. Maybe we pull back just a little bit, and then we form some. We come back up and we form some bearish divergence, right? In this move, whether it pulls all the way back down and then it moves up, or it pulls down slightly to the overbought zone and then it moves up, Bitcoin will likely form a higher high. If our first high is expected based off of this RSI to be at 120 to 130, our next high would likely be above that. That's all I'm trying to say, right? And I know to some people who get what I'm saying, this might have been just like a huge video of just repeating myself for the last 10 minutes. And I know that's basically what I've been doing, but I want to try and make it obvious if it's not obvious, right? We're not stopping here, okay? This is our low. This is it. If you're waiting for lower prices, you're not going to get them. Anybody, and here's the thing, guys. Here's my theory. I think once we break above $100,000 for Bitcoin, it's never going below it again. Ever. Not in the bear cycle, not ever. Not in your worst nightmares, not in your best dreams. Once we get above 100K, it's never going below it again. If that theory is to remain true, then likely what we would do is we would break well above 100K. That way, whenever we do have our pullback, we can pull back a decent way and still be above 100K. I really do believe that we're getting set up right now for this next kind of expansive move, right, like this, and something like that with that exact same size that would take us right to the zone that we've been expecting we would go to this whole time, which is about 120 to 130K in the first week or two of December. It didn't happen by the end of this month like we were hoping. We had a lot of momentum going over here. This consolidation took longer than I thought it would, but that's okay, right? I'm okay with being wrong by a week or two, but in time, all good things or all bad things come to an end, right? And you just can't get in the way of Bitcoin, man. It is going to keep moving up. It is in that phase of the bull cycle where it gets exciting, right? This is the post-halving breakout move, and it's just beginning. So I don't know what else to say. I think I've said everything I need to say. If you guys like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.